All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. We got something very exciting for you today. He's a guy who's really good at social media. He has a big beard.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
blonde. Um, he is. Oh, one sec. Oh no, I had it good. Okay, he's really good at social media. He's blonde. He has a beard, and he's very good at getting attention online. And his last name is Paul.
All true.
Oh shit, that's the wrong Paul. It's a different Paul. It's still the wrong Paul.
I wish I was that rich. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, so we got Alec Paul. He's Sam Jacobs called him the Rick Rubin of LinkedIn.
That was a very nice thing of someone to say. Also crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, and he has receipts. I feel like if you're chronically on LinkedIn, like most of us, you've seen the output of his work, which is like huge accounts that have grown really quickly from really credible executives that actually drive pipeline and business results, not just vanity metrics or people posting slop. So thanks, Alec, for joining. I appreciate it. I'm super excited. For the call, we're going to do a little bit of a kind of just like context as to how Alex sees um, LinkedIn right now and strategy and what works on LinkedIn, and then Q&A. So if you have any questions, we'll open up in the Q&A, and then we'll get into the fun stuff, which will be roasting posts, which I think will be a cool way to see a big part of Alex's point of view is that like taste is really important, and taste is a hard thing to explain with words, but it's easier if we can uh, see, someone like Alec reacting to actual posts, and then hopefully you can get some free LinkedIn content consulting. So that's what we're gonna do today. Alec, thanks so much for joining. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's great. Great visuals.
All right, sweet. Let's let's dive in. So I think that to start, let me see the chat. LinkedIn sponsor posting contextual really kind of cool. Okay, so to start, can you give us just context as to like what your business is and like how you work with these
That's a good
videos?
question. That's fair. I think yeah, I probably get lumped in with ghostwriting, but that's not what I do. I think the classic way for executive thought leadership or ghostwriting or audience building or whatever name you want to use, building influencers is the classic. You meet with them, you're going to save them time, right? Like you're a busy Mr. Busy executive or Mrs. Busy executive. Give me 1 hour every 2 weeks, and I'm going to record a conversation with you. I know LinkedIn very well, or I know social media very well. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I'm going to record these transcripts. And then, depending on the size of the agency or the program or whatever, I'm going to farm out those transcripts to someone else, like a junior writer, or I'm going to take them and I'm going to write. Maybe I'll ask some clarifying questions and, now use a bunch of AI and I'm going to create a bunch of, 3 to 5, whatever, 7 posts a week for you. I think that's the classic way. It saves them time. They don't have to think about it much. It's more of an approval edit thing. I take a very different approach. Like my approach is going to take you a shit ton of time. Like I'm, I don't do any of the writing for clients. I think of it more as like producing. Like, we're going to help, I'm going to learn your story. I'm going to manage you as talent. I'm going to keep you very accountable. I'm going to learn everything there is you know, to know about your business and who you are as a person and your personality, the content you like, the content you hate, everything. And then kind of once a week, I'm going to come together and we're just going to talk. Like I'm going to ask you questions, right? You're going to talk about what's interesting to you. We're going to review other content that worked or didn't work. And through that process, what happens is like we kind of end up on a few ideas, right? Here, idea, maybe hooks. A lot of times, hopefully hooks, right? Because hooks allow people to write. From that process, I typically send them off to go write, right? Here's the concept, here's the prompt, here's the thing. You need to go write on that. My theory behind it all had been that like the writing is the actual thinking for me. Like you will get to the best version of that idea by sitting down and writing it out and struggling with it and bleeding with what Stephen King called bleeding on the page, right? Like that is how that struggle is inherent in the process of creating good content, right? So I by going through that process and iterating on it constantly, like you will continue to get better. And my theory had been, or my bet had been, like as the world goes more towards uh AI common denominator slop, like there will be a premium on human writing that doesn't look like that, right? So um that's kind of what the process looks. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a quick version, but that's more of what it looks like. I'm The short version is I don't do the writing. Like I make them write. Like they will attest that they have to do a bunch of writing. Sure, some of them you can use some AI and some of them can use some templates when they're getting started, but like they'd be very, very committed to the long term of this project, and they have to buy into the fact that they own their voice and no one else can own it better than them. Like no one else can own it, right?
Yeah.
That's I get people that come to me, they're like, that's not for them, right? They want someone to do it for them. Great. That we're not a
And
fit.
I think that's the reason I asked that question is because a lot of us are in the, marketing seat of like we see this program that we think can work for our audience, which is executive thought leadership. Uh, and then we're like, either you have an executive who's doing it already, and how can we make it better, or an executive that's not doing it, how can we convince them? And I think the point that you make, which is very important for someone coming in, is that they need to want to do it
They have to
because it
want to
takes
do
so
it.
much work.
I don't want to say that like it's never going to fucking work if you can't do, I mean, like something is better than nothing. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
the
Yeah.
executive LinkedIn program is super valuable, whether it's being ghostwritten or not. But when we're talking about like these guys that are like 100 or 150,000 or whatever you want to say, like very successful at it, the reason that they became so successful is because they owned it, right?
Mhm.
So that I don't think there's not that a ghost-written approach doesn't work. I know there are executives out there that do that for sure. There's the type that's like
Yeah.
ghostwriting for the CEO of Coca-Cola. And it's like, yeah, he's never going to write his own posts or PayPal or whatever. And then there's the type that's like ghostwriting for the CEO of some Series A SaaS because he doesn't have the time. And there's different levels of involvement. But I can tell you the more involvement that they have in it of like feeling that true ownership over their voice, the better it's gonna work. And you can shape that taste and you can help them be better at it. Like it's a game after all, right? Social media is a game, but
Yeah.
we need a we need an active player in the game. My whole
Mhm.
thing is like I can't play the game for you. Like we're
Yeah.
right. Like I need to play it with you.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so can we double click on your process? So you have like the like you're just talking and then get to
I know it
hooks at
sounds
the end
crazy.
and you're like, here's the hooks. How do you like any tips there on like working with
Yeah, yeah.
hooks?
I come in pretty well prepared. Like I'll know your business and your audience and what's resonating, and I'll make sure I know what content over the last week or month. Like early on, I want to come in and make it pretty easy for you, right? Over time, the process changes as you get better at it. But early on, it's like I think of it a lot about like jogging. Like it kind of sucks at first. You need to like help them, right? They can get better as it goes. So early on, I want some more like fill in the blank type templates, like social proof that's unique to them, their experience, some kind of evolution story. I went from making $12 an hour to 20, charging $200,000 a year or whatever. Um,
Uh-huh.
and some kind of setup of like 5 lessons, 8 lessons. So like there's easier ways that you can kind of like then they just need to fill it in, right? They need to fill in 7 things versus write a story or a narrative.
So you don't come with like hooks, hook ideas or content ideas. At least maybe later on you might, but like you'll come with templates of here's a format that I know works, which is like
Yeah, here's like a
story format
format.
or whatever, and
Here's a
then
really
they
good
fill it
post I saw.
in.
Maybe it's a different audience. Maybe it's a totally different
Yeah,
thing. But like the mechanics of how that hook worked, I know in my head he has or she has that information, right? They have
yeah,
they have a story like this. They overcame an obstacle like this. They have a contrarian take like this. And you can use the pattern matching of it to help them fill in their own information and then fill in the rest of it, right? So like early on, it's
yeah.
more like training wheels, right?
Yeah, totally. And then you'll work together with them to come to the most compelling hook. I'm sure you have back and forth there if you're like, oh, is there anything else here? And they're like,
Well,
oh, there's extra this. And then,
I think one thing I should note is like, which sometimes makes it hard to talk about. Every executive is a unique flower. Like
that's true.
it's
Yeah.
like dealing with talent. That's how I think about it more. Like you're a producer on a movie. And the
Mm.
talent is difficult. It's your job to wrangle that talent. You're not going to be able to set up a system that works exactly the same for every single person. And that's been super frustrating as far as like scaling a business or whatever, but that just seems to be how it works. They're a
Mm.
very busy CEO. You're lucky when you get time. You're lucky when you get like thought space, right? You have to make the most of it, and you have to figure out ways to keep them what keeps them uniquely motivated. Maybe this one is super competitive and you're showing them the competitor that's doing really well. Or like, you know what I mean? Like you have to figure out how to kind of manage that talent to give you what you need to give to keep going, right? So when you talk about like a process, yeah, one thing I want to call out, there's like, unfortunately, it's been pretty bespoke for each person because they're all a bit different. Some really need the hooks. Some want to go back and forth on a hook for 45 minutes and like we'll just keep going back. Otherwise, like you write it. Like I'm like, okay, fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So it kind of depends. I know
Okay.
I'm not a very satisfying answer.
No, not at all. I want like the, 4 steps to make your
There
CEO
is
hire.
none of it. I wish I would have a much more successful business if there was.
Totally. Uh, okay, so what I'm hearing is like you need a CEO who's bought in and interested, and I'll add probably like has interesting things to say. Like, would you say that everyone
That's
does? Or
I think you and I talked about that. Not everyone is meant for this, right? Like I think everyone should have a presence and they should do it. Like you look at the CEO of, I would say PayPal because I saw a post on this recently. Like he's posting a lot now, or the CEO of Harvey is a big AI company is posting a lot now. They're not posting a lot of thought leadership, quote unquote. They're just using their platform and their brand and their celebrity as another distribution channel, right? To give
yeah.
accolades to the partners and the new customers and new hires and announcements and things like that. And I think that's fine. Like that may be who your person is, and that's a totally legitimate strategy. Um, there are others that want to, turn into more of like a, sorry, I got off where I forgot where I was going with that, but that was the point I
Well,
wanted.
we were
Yeah.
saying that like the CEO needs to have a something
Yeah,
worth
sorry. There we go.
saying in the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
place.
Okay. So what I was saying, what I found a couple times is like, man, just because you've built a $400 million business or something doesn't mean you necessarily think about the world in like a super interesting way. Like that
Yeah.
you can be like a truly great operator and a business guy, but maybe you're just naturally good at it, or you don't like take the hour to really think about the mechanics of it done in a way that it can explain to people. Like they just don't have it in them, right?
Mhm.
And some people like have it or don't, and there's different levels of it, right? So
And that seems like a thing you can kind of just tell
yeah,
uh, based on like what their content looks like. Like you get a
basically
couple posts from them, you're a consumer of LinkedIn content, you can tell pretty quickly like does this person have it or not? Are these ideas
you
unique?
have it, they have something to say, and like, can it be? I do it like from like a screening perspective. I'll talk to you like a couple times and like
Yeah.
figure out like, do you have something interesting to say? Like, do you have a unique
Yeah.
perspective on the market? Or like, are you really passionate about this new way of doing things, or like this old way of doing things are wrong, or like you have a really contrarian take, or maybe you're really good at just teaching like mechanics and like tactics and whatever, right? Um, you got to find something though. I mean, another way of doing it is like it's just like just having unique information sources, right? Like you have access to unique information other people don't with basically the customers you serve or whatever. That can sometimes be a
Yeah.
catalyst for interesting content as well, right?
And then are you, I can't remember, I know you have like background in mostly sales. Are all your clients in like this GTM tech space or like
It
people
tended
selling
to
this stuff?
be early on. Like it kind of follows the natural evolution of LinkedIn, where it was like really early, like LinkedIn was like salespeople, it was marketing people, and that's where
Yeah.
it tended to play the most because that's where the biggest audience was. I think there's like a lot of white space for a lot of other, like I still think we're pretty early on LinkedIn, as much as people complain, myself included, about what's happening to LinkedIn and the algorithm and whatever, which we can talk about if you want. There's still like most of the world has not been activated. There's not thought leaders in all those little verticals and spaces for like fintech or whatever, like green tech or whatever you want to like. There's still tons of room because those people are on LinkedIn, but no one yet has created the kind of influencers for them. And a lot
Yeah.
of the go-to-market stuff is kind of incestuous. Like those were kind of the biggest people on LinkedIn to start. So they've all kind of taken each other's best practices. So I do think there is something to be said for this year, like a mantra I'm kind of thinking of is just like just have more fun and just throw out everything we thought we knew about LinkedIn because everything has been pattern matched by the LLMs that like all of the classic best practices over the last 24 months are so easily replicatable by the LLMs and like the coaches and the whatever that like you have to do something different, which is like
Yeah.
I've started posting recently like it's Twitter and I'm just like shit talking and doing little things and it's working really well just because like it seems to be different. So like what's the
Mm.
different approach that's not just straight thought leadership that you can do for your executive essentially?
Yeah, totally. Feel that one deeply. Okay, so I guess the we'll close out this section with maybe just like a, if you have it, kind of a rapid fire of like what's working on the platform right now, like from a LinkedIn strategy
Yeah,
perspective. Do you have like some blurbs on that, and then we can get into the
I do think it's becoming more
Griff, can
image
you hear me?
me.
Hey, good man. How are you?
Oh, Brett, no, you're not muted. Okay, go ahead, Alec. That's the
Uh,
Zoom faux pas. Go ahead.
yeah, I do think it's becoming more image based. So like take this all with a grain of salt, but what we've heard is that over the last 6 months, they've been trying all these different algorithm tests for better or for worse, mainly for worse, and that those end at the end of January. Whether that's true or not, who has any idea, right?
Oh,
So
they said they were ending at the end of January?
this is very, as I said, huge grain of salt, the biggest grain of
Oh,
salt that you
yeah.
could possibly ever have. And they're going to go back to like an older version of the algorithm and try to emphasize video again. So they're going to keep trying to figure out video, in my opinion. I think short form video on LinkedIn doesn't work. Like there's some people that have figured it out, but people aren't there. The way it's presented in the mobile UI makes it difficult. And I still think it's like primarily a text-based platform, right? Like you can have video components, you can have image components and media components and documents and graphics and whatever, but it's still like the written word wins out. Like I think the combination of the two is still the winning format, like media plus text, video plus text. Always obviously a very strong hook of some kind. I do see more image stuff doing really well. I also see like we did an experiment with a client recently. She was writing drafts and then putting that draft into Claude and like having it clean it up or whatever. And that draft was always worse than that original raw draft. So it's like staying as close, the things from those raw original things that's pre-AI seems to be working better because it
Mhm.
just LinkedIn more than any other platform has been infected with the AI, whatever. Mainly because I think like some people are on Twitter for the love of the game. Like people like to post. Like people are on LinkedIn because they have to for business for the most part, right? Like so like if you don't want to do it, you're going to take the easiest shortcut and everyone's kind of going back towards the mean or whatever. So like this raw, have fun, like uh unpolished type writing feels like it will win out versus the classic like you know uh one line broetry, like the classic Justin Welsh thing. um so the opposite of that would be
Okay, so we got doing the opposite of, and that's kind of a like format thing and like the way you're presenting your
oh yeah,
image. And
and
then
then
on the ideas themselves, like it
on
needs
the
to be
ideas themselves, it
thoughtful.
has to be, and I hate all these buzzwords like authentic, story driven,
Yeah.
content or whatever, but it's very true. It has to be something that can't be easily replicated by like an LLM, right? Like,
Or I guess other people,
or the people. It
right?
has to be like
Yeah.
something only you can, a story about how you were eating, like, how you grew up on government cheese and, like this personal whatever. I do think that stuff is very valuable. Someone who I think is doing it really well, who I do think is using a lot of AI is like if you can look at Henry Schuck, the CEO of ZoomInfo, speaking of like go-to-market folks, his last maybe posts or something, he's using these pictures of him like when he was younger, and there's these stories of these moments in time of building Zoom info where he experienced something,
Yeah.
some challenge or something, but like only he can tell that story, right? Like no one else could write that content. And obviously it comes from a place of authority and he's got 8,000 employees who can help engage with the content or
So
whatever.
why do you think that like this is the thing that I didn't so I was in-house growth lead at this company called Key Play. Our founder had like a big LinkedIn brand. My job was to like accelerate
Yep.
that. I did a lot of work with him. Something I didn't understand then that I understand now is like any affinity or attention with the audience is good. So it doesn't need to all be like reinforcing the strategic narrative that like makes our product seem important and valuable. Like
100%.
just a story and people like recognize your face is actually way more valuable than you think. Um, so I guess my question is like, why does that stuff
It's so funny you say
work?
that. I
You know?
I always said like what was I always saying? I always said it, but I forget it. Yeah, like the best way to sell enterprise software is not to talk about your enterprise software. It's like about how you started drinking again and like accidentally cheated on your spouse.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah.
that is how you sell enterprise software. It sounds crazy, but like that may not be the best example,
No, not the best metaphor, but the right idea.
but the right idea. It's like you need to become a human being to these people. And like all that attention accrues back to the company, like
Right.
and that like love or like attachment accrues back to the brand. So it's like it's very weird, but it's true. And yeah, if you love Coldplay concerts, and exactly, Zeb. Why that works, I don't know. But I've
But my question is more just to clarify a little bit. It's not like why the sharing authenticity works. It's like you can share authenticity and it not get a bunch of reach or engagement. Like Henry's at least probably works because people are like
yeah,
aspiring to be CEOs of big companies. So it's like an
sure.
inspirational story. So yeah.
You're saying it works even if you don't get big engagement. Yeah, I think you're saying it
No,
works.
my question was like if you have a CEO who's not the CEO of a big company, but he wants to share stories like that,
I still
are
think
they
it's a
still going to get reach even if they're not like
Yeah, if you
aspirational?
yeah, LinkedIn is still built on like, heart-tugging storytelling type stuff, right? Like it's still LinkedIn, right? So I still think it will work if it's well written and like it tells a
Yeah.
compelling story and there's a narrative and a hook and whatever. I still think it will work, right? There's
Okay, sweet.
you can take it too far, like Sam, using him as an example. For a while, we posted how he got fired, like on certain jobs or whatever, and like I think we probably posted a few too many times about it because it worked as like a hook, right? Like, and then eventually, so people started to think, "Oh, you're the guy who got fired." Like, okay, so like, there's a balance, right? Like,
Totally.
playing the hook game versus like maintaining the integrity of the brand, which is like I feel like a constant balance on LinkedIn where you're constantly fighting for attention, but
Trust also. Yeah.
not all attention is good attention in the aggregate, right? And different
Yeah.
brands have
Oh,
different like Adam approaches that very differently than someone like Gal, you know what I mean?
yeah, totally. Which is probably the nature of their businesses. Just like PLG,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's more of like a natural extension of who they are as a human being too, right? Like it's just so a reflection of who Adam's brand is very much who he is, you know what I mean?
yeah. Okay. This is great. I want to get into the roast. Before that, does anyone have anything that like stood
Oh,
out here or like follow on questions you want to ask Alec? We can bring you on camera and you can ask.
yeah. I haven't gone
Um,
through all these chats, but if anyone wants to
yeah.
hop on camera, I'm happy to answer whatever.
Let's see. Well, this one's quick from Christina. In relation to what do you encourage them to do in relation to commenting and engaging on
Yeah, that's a
posts or
very,
articles?
I do try to hold them accountable. I think I see it as like you look at all I hate the word gurus, but like the LinkedIn guys or gals that teach all this stuff. They're like, comment 300 times a day. I'm like, yeah, you will probably grow faster. Like every comment is an ad unit. And like when you're managing an executive, there's so much executive time in a day. And it's your um, role to help them figure out how to allocate that time in the best way possible to grow. So like maybe you do one less post a week, but we get them more involved in the comments on responding to stuff, right? Because it's really important. I think early on, as like a notable executive or even not a notable executive, it's really important that you respond to your comments. Let me take that flip side. if you're so big, it doesn't really matter because people are going to respond anyway, right? So like, but on that kind of middle or smaller tier early on, it's like audience service. Like eventually you stop, you don't respond to their comments after the third one, like they're not commenting again. So I think in the early part of your journey, it's like it's really helpful to have them respond to comments. I have not yet set up this due to the nature of my business model or whatever, set up a good system to help them with that. I think there are ways that you could help them with comments, right? You don't
That
want
was
to
going to be my question. Yeah. How do you get like all your target prospects
I would.
and then track the posts they're doing so you can comment? It would be like the dream.
You can definitely do that. There used to be like Aware and stuff like that where you could like create custom lists within LinkedIn and see which ones they post and then make sure their CEO is commenting on all their stuff. I think that's more of like a strategic sales motion versus commenting for, I think there's commenting for sales and like an ABM type thing. And then there's commenting for like growth, which would be more important for your executive leave to leave
Oh, I see what you're saying. As an ad unit. Yeah.
as an ad
You
unit.
find a post that's going to go viral, you comment, it gets a bunch of impressions. People say, oh, this is smart. I'll go to your profile and
Yeah.
look.
And I'll go back and so every like, that's how we think of comments as like little ad units on on other people's posts. On your own post, it's more of like audience service, a thank you, something. So like plus, it keeps the algorithm like juicing.
Okay. One more question from Dan. So this is honestly kind of related, but the first one is like advice for those who struggle to find their voice, and then the second one is like around idea generation outside of templates. Do you have a way we can think about writing that results in ongoing?
I think finding the voice is like it's like a, it is the process is you have to go through the process, which means like writing and trying again and trying different things and like seeing what works. It's like so iterative.
I guess
I,
I'll ask you this on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Is like, how do you know you found your voice? Because you work with these people who have like been through the grind of the process, and then what? It clicks, and then they're like,
It starts to work. Like they like it, the audience likes it, and there's this overlap between what they like and what the audience likes.
yeah,
I think it works. Like I think the beauty of LinkedIn is like that immediate or social media in general is that like, hey, it works or it didn't work, right? Like you get the results right there. And if it didn't work, we're gonna go back and analyze the shit out of like, hey, this didn't work. Was it the hook? Was it this? And that's not really like a voice. I mean, voice is really, I don't know, it's a squishy and an important topic, I guess. Um, Uh, yeah, finding a voice is very difficult. I've found like different ways. Sometimes like the executives aren't as like they speak better than they write, like they're more authentically themselves. And then we would kind of go towards like a video strategy or like an audio strategy where they would talk more and then we'd get the transcript and go from there because they could just like maybe they're in their head a little bit about writing and they're not as comfortable with it. Like finding the medium that works for them, I think is an important part of that finding your voice.
hmm.
What was the other question that you
Was
had?
around like outside of templates, like a way we can think about writing that results in ongoing ideas, which is like probably the biggest pain point for marketers working with CEOs is like, how do we figure out what to write about?
It's just like a constant, it's like it's just constant consumption. It's like, it's a terrible, I keep saying it's a terrible business. Like you're in this, you just have to be on social media all the time. Like
Yeah.
just consuming content constantly. And you can build tools and we've seen them that like can pull top posts, right? Or like, hey, I want to track these 10 accounts. Let's look at what their last there was a tool called Clio that used to do this before they got banned, and there are other tools that do this that like and people build their own custom tools where it's like, I want to choose these 10 accounts. I'm going to go through their top posts of the last 6 months or the last 2 years. And I'm going to see what the hooks were. I'm going to see the topics they
Mhm.
were talking about, like that speak to a very similar audience. So, like early on, as part of the process, I'm always finding comps. Like you're an executive that wants to talk to the type, like a comp for like the type of person you are and a comp for the audience you speak to. Um,
Yeah.
and maybe a stylistic comp as well of like, oh, you're more brash or whatever. Okay, this person's more brash. And then trying to go like just have a sense of all their content. And before these meetings, I'm going to go through all that stuff and like quickly scroll, hey, here are the topics, here are the things that are working. Hey, it's really about cold calling or it's about usage-based pricing or it's about whatever. Um,
Gosh, that's so good. I never thought about it as having comps for different aspects of the whole recipe. Like you want like ideas that are working, and then you want like maybe formats, and then also the stylistic one is
yeah.
really important. Um, Gosh, I could have done that. This is making me think about like everything I could have done better at my role. We had like we were doing a lot of
His
database
brand was
content.
you did a great job. His brand was great. Is great.
Uh, Sweet. Yeah, I think we did a good job. But thinking back, I'm like a big differentiator of the content was it was very like data back. We do like analysis and publish the analysis thought through. And like David Walker comes to mind from Carta, who's like
Peter
great
Walker.
stuff with that. Like I should be pulling that and then combining it with like the Galaga whose profile I would look at a lot for posts that were working, and then you combine those two, that's so you get something interesting. Uh,
I think the data stuff is interesting. Like Gong was one of the first companies that did it really well on LinkedIn, where they had like their u unique data. It's like they were coming up with these narratives around their product data. I remember there was like an infamous one. I don't know if people remember about like if you swear more, like you close deals
right.
faster. You know, and uh, I still think that stuff works, and no one's really replicated it yet, except for Peter Walker.
Yeah,
And
because
excuse me,
it's to the unique piece. It's like
unique piece of
AI can't
product
do
data.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the roast. I'm very excited about this. I want to give preference to people live on the call. I do have a post ready, but drop us a post that you would like Alec
Okay,
to
I'm giving my
roast.
preface here. It's hard to roast because I don't really know these people. So like we're gonna
Yeah, and
like
by all, sorry, also by roast, I don't mean we're going to tear it apart. I mean Alex going to give some feedback on it, and I can't make the title of this get
I know roast
feedback
and then
on your
moderate.
CEO's content.
That one didn't work. Whoever just sent that, it said something went wrong.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Carlson. Okay, we'll do Monica.
Okay, I can.
Is LinkedIn down or what's going on?
Which one are we looking at? Monica's?
Can you pull it up on your screen?
Oh no, it said something went wrong. What great timing.
Mine says something went wrong. Does yours say that too?
Yeah. Here we go. All right, we'll go with Monica's first. I'll share my
Sure.
screen here so we can all see it. One second. Um, okay, and then I'm gonna give it like a quick read for people who might be like just listening.
Door. We got to start with did it work? We got 17.
Yeah, I guess Monica, yeah,
Yeah, let's start with there.
what's your take on this? You can come on camera too if you want to share, give some more context.
So this was done by a ghostwriter. I'll preface
Mhm.
that.
Fun.
I don't think it's authentic, really. So we're
Mhm.
in the business of helping other startups shut down, and I think it's really just,
Shut down.
yeah. So like if someone's looking to dissolve their business, like we provide them with the tools to be able to do so. So I just think it only can resonate with like a certain amount of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My thought was like immediately, it's like there must be some nightmare examples of people that has handled it so poorly. Of
Yeah.
like, what was
Yeah.
that?
No, go ahead. Yeah,
My initial thought reading that is like you're saying getting acquired is a huge milestone, but it needs to be handled gracefully, poor announcement strategy, and create internal cut. We're pretty neat, which is fine. Like we're niche, right? Because getting acquired is a huge milestone, you know, but it needs to be handled gracefully, poor announcement strategy, and create internal chaos, make the news go unnoticed, or stress customer out. Here's how to handle it well. So it's a point about how you handle getting acquired, and then you're like like stay at the top a little bit. I'm almost gonna like exclusively focus on the hook. The
okay.
What I want is like a nightmare. Like there must be just some nightmare examples of like what happens when someone who handled it. Like what I want to know is like what does not handling it gracefully look like?
Yeah, and you're talking about, what you said earlier, authenticity, unique data, perspective that AI can't copy, stories that people resonate with. Like there's got to be a gold mine of content here that at the very least will get a bunch of attention for simple closure of like stories of
Stories
people
that would
shutting
like
down.
people founders handling it really well and like the absolute chaos that streams from that would be like I think the way you anchor this in the hook for like the bad case scenario, the worst case scenario that you don't want, and then that leads to like the solution of how you're doing it well. So really leading with like the problem and the pain and that thing that everyone wants to avoid, plus some like classic like what's it kind of rubbernecking on like seeing this awful situation of like someone doing something uncouth. I think what was what I would want to start with. Now, in terms of start with a core narrative, share internally, it's also just kind of a prepare messaging for current customers. It's kind of like a how-to guide, right? Or like get more specific. Like I know this is like maybe trite in the LinkedIn game, but it's like give a specific example of a specific company that can be a representative for the class, right? Like you just got acquired for this much money and these problems are like what do you do? Like here's how you do it. Like paint a more visual example of like a specific outcome in a specific type of company that you can like um kind of really grab onto as the reader.
And
I think
would you think about like I've seen this with your post, Alec. Often it's like the hook wants to create extreme emotion, and a way to do that is to talk specifically about like kind of outrage people a little bit. And so you're like a marketer. I just got off the phone with a marketer who like didn't know their company was shutting down until the day before, and
yes, that's exactly
or
right.
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Something
Yeah.
like you give it this like realness, this moment in time that like it just happened. It's happening now. I need to know about this. I think that's also another great example of way to do it. Like there needs to be some kind of like emotional intrigue or contrast that like gets them to stop scrolling, which I just don't think we have here. And that would set up the rest of what that post should be. The idea in general of like, here's how you handle an acquisition, like how you handle an acquisition gracefully, it could still be the post, but I think like the packaging needs some work. Um,
Okay. This is a question, a selfish question for me. So these ones that have like multiple takeaways, I've been seeing that like what I read on LinkedIn, I don't have the time to like look at each takeaway and think about it. I want a post that's all about just one.
it's funny because I'm starting to play with this more too. It's like that's where I'm like getting at that thing I said earlier of just like throwing it all out the window of like up until 6 months ago, I would say use every single character. Like I would max out
Yeah.
character count on every single post. But like I'm starting to think or see it's more of this kind of like medium-sized content that might be a little more focused on one or two things versus going in these big elaborate 8-point lists, which was like my bread and butter for many years. Um,
Mhm.
that may actually be the way to win now. So I think that's a very good point, Eric.
Um, yeah, because it's just like there's just more. It just feels like there's more content. I'm more
You're asking
have
so
less
much of them.
mental bandwidth. Yeah.
It's like your setup has to be so good to get them to keep going, and every sentence has to lead to the next thing for them to continue to keep reading. So, like, for the more you're asking of them, the more you're gonna have to give up front with some like amazing, I don't know, I call it like a kind of like it has to lead to some kind of like emotional catharsis almost.
Oh,
I read
that's
who does this? I read this post. This was a fantastic post.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Mr. Brady.
I don't
Do
really have
you
it
want
in
to share some context?
who shared this?
I did.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
write
saw Adam. I saw Adam posted this, so I figured you probably saw it at some
It's
point.
so good. Actually,
So rather than just Adam's quick take of this is great, go read it, I'm like, okay, I want to know what Alec thought.
it was just so it's such like an well, Adam brought it to my attention. Hey, there's a great hook that's like very fun and different.
Yeah,
Let me read it real quick for people who are listening. So the hook is
Yeah.
the cat is dead. You just haven't opened the box yet. Two white spaces, which is cool. It's like a
Yeah.
very short hook, which is
Yeah.
after nearly 6 years in SaaS M&A and hundreds of evaluation conversations, I've noticed so much.
Goes straight to a social proof of like why you should
Right.
pay why you should
yep.
give a shit what Dirk has to say, which I'm like, okay, great.
And it's SaaS M&A, which is not like
Which calls out, which I think all he's calling out like SaaS, which is like we're all in SaaS or a lot of us are in SaaS. Okay, that's for me. M&A, cool, sexy topic. I look, we all want an exit. We all
and
want
aspirational too. It's like not
aspirational.
even, yeah.
All great.
Okay, and then the
VC,
fascinating thing is
again, VC-backed founders also super like he's loading all this good shit in here.
VC-backed founders and their investors can walk around believing their company is worth 50 million for
And
years,
that's the whole thesis of his entire post right there.
right up until the moment they try to sell it
That's
for
so
8 million.
great. It's so good. It's so good.
Uh, so that's beautiful because it's like contrast and emotion,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh shit, I might be that person.
It's like they're delusional. Like he's calling them that's what Adam said, but like they're calling him delusional.
Yeah, and then it goes, and then this is what I was talking about. It's one idea.
That's
It's
the
not a list of
Schrodinger's valuation is the whole point of this whole post. Yeah.
yeah, which is like they finally said something that I was thinking for years, but it's one thing. No
Yeah.
one's like, oh, they finally said something I've been thinking for years. It's these 16 ways to like grow my farm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's one thing.
And
Okay, what else, Alec?
I think it's just, and again, he's using your Series A was $40 million post money. It's so descriptive and so visual.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, and specific,
you
yeah.
know that company in your head. You're already thinking about a
Yeah.
company right there. Their fund equity reference, your founder's LinkedIn. And then for some portion of the audience, like his audience, they have been thinking about this forever. They know this, right? And he's saying the thing that everyone has been thinking that no one has said, and he's finally said it and like put really descriptive, visceral language around it.
Mhm.
The valuation is
Wonderful.
real because he put it down. Like, I loved this post.
And then this is like I like a strong ending.
I think there
What are
is
your
like
thoughts
this.
on that?
Okay, let me give you like, I think this is a bit I'm always like, I'm not one of those like AI purists or whatever that like, that's
Mhm.
AI, whatever. Like, there's a lot of that these days. It's a fantastic tool. We should use it in the way.
Yeah.
I think it's very addicting for people and they over rely on it. So I just like, for a lot of the part, try to scare people away from it to a certain extent because they become complacent with it. And I think your brain atrophies over a certain point of time. Not everyone is like, it's just so powerful. I don't think everyone can like handle it, right? Responsibly. But like there's some of this that's definitely feels a little AI, but I never stopped me from as the average consumer, I don't think you'd see it. Me as like a
Right.
obsessive person that reads LinkedIn posts for a living. Um, yeah, I would see it, but that's my curse, right? So it's like the I thought it all worked swimmingly well. Yeah, thank you for sharing this. It was so good.
All right, lovely.
But it all starts from like, what's the idea here? Like how did this post get written? It's like all these founders out there running around saying there's companies that are worth $50 million are not actually worth that much money. Like I assume that's
I also thought it was really great with Adam's brand and how he's been leaning into like, bootstrapping and the
yeah.
10 million ARR lean, right? Like that's the goal you should be going after. And it's like, look, this is written better than I can say it. Just go to this. Anyone who asks, just go read this now.
And speaking of the way we did that, which everyone should was like, you can't reshare shit on LinkedIn. For some reason, it's one of the stupidest things they've ever done. Like that Twitter was built off the reshare function because it creates a singular conversation for people to have around single pieces of content. But like LinkedIn does not work that way. So like you got to screenshot the thing, screenshot posts, and then do
Mm,
the commentary on it. Never just reshare it. For It's
that's a great
unfortunate.
practical one.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Um,
That's so good. I think everyone should read that post. And like the hook doesn't follow any of the rules. Like there's no like social proof in it. He's not like it's just intrigue. You're like, what? Like what does this mean? It's so good.
all right, sweet. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we got? We did Monica's. Oh, Carlston's. Ooh, interesting. All right, let's do this one. This is from this is from Carlson.
I like it.
Carlson, you want to share some context? You're still here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
who did
yeah. So I mean, it's trying to think how can we stand out and be unique and
that's
stuff.
good.
And Waldo's name is Waldo. We
Yeah.
had a truck. We had a post. He's written a lot about a lot of different things, but the posts that always do the best is when his truck is in it. So we thought, well, what if we do Waldo and the truck,
Combined it.
and
Yeah,
Waldo in the costume? And we got some good engagement on it. I think it was successful. He'd actually wear that to a trade show that some of the people who had commented on it were at. But for me, it's kind of like, okay, this I think worked well there,
sure.
but where do we go from here? How do we
I
use
can't
this
do
like
this.
we?
I can't do this every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he can't. Yeah, he's not coming to the office dressing up like Waldo every day. So, um, yeah, yeah. That's kind of the. I'm not quite sure how
And
to
what's
how to
your
build off of that.
for
We
quick
work in we
context?
work in
What?
agriculture. We have a service that we provide to farmers and agronomists and golf courses
Are
across
they
the
on?
U.S.
And they're on LinkedIn. That's always a
Quite
big
a
one.
bit,
Yeah.
quite a bit. Yep.
What are the personas that are on LinkedIn?
Um, there's a lot of lurkers,
Sure.
and then there's yeah, I mean, farmers that will post sometimes just pictures of stuff they're doing,
Oh.
agronomists that'll post stuff from the field. So we do try to post a lot like actually in the field, and then a lot of superintendents from golf courses that'll post like pictures of something they're doing at their golf course that day.
One thing we try to do sometimes is when we don't know where to go next is like we'll take 10, 15, I mean, it depends how much time you have, or it depends how good you are at tech, I guess, of like our target buyer personas that are on LinkedIn. And we'll just go like scroll or I'm not going to say scrape, poll all of their like what do they like, right? Go find like 10 to 15 of like your like people that you really want to sell to, ideal people, and go through their content on LinkedIn and figure out what they're liking and engaging with, what they're commenting on. And from there, we're sometimes able to kind of like reverse engineer the topics. I don't know if you've tried something like that, but that when I'm like stuck sometimes.
Can you see like what people are liking on LinkedIn or
Yeah,
just what they're resharing?
go to Waldo. We can do it. Eric, go to Waldo.
Mhm.
And then go down. It's buried. Go scroll down, show all posts, and then go to more, and then go to reactions. And that will show everything that Waldo has liked or commented on or liked for the most part. And you can do that for all your buyers.
It's beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome. And I heard you say too on resharing, you suggest like screenshotting a post and
Yeah.
then resharing it versus the actual like reshare function on LinkedIn.
Only time I ever reshare is like an audience. I, it's a big customer or so. I'm like trying to support them. It's like I'm giving back because there's no value to me. Like it's like I'm trying to acknowledge them. It's like a customer did something. I'm going to reshare their to give them props or a employee or something like that. But if I want to turn it into a piece of content, I'm often screenshotting it or figuring out a way to like, yeah, mainly screenshotting it and creating a unique new post.
Cool.
Just because
Thank you.
it is deprioritize, boost those reshares. If
Okay, I got two
Appreciate
more.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a super helpful, super helpful tip. That's worth the whole hour is the tip of just going to the more reactions from your
Or I
drip.
mean, I think some people have this too, which we come with clients who like you talked about, like, are they in go to market or not? Like, well, people say like, well, my audit, there's a lot of lurkers, right? But there's someone somewhere that speaks to that audience. Like maybe there's an influencer on Twitter or like that has a really big newsletter that speaks to the audience that you want to speak to, and then we'll mine the shit out of their tweets and all of that shit to see
Yeah.
like it doesn't need to be on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn could be the white space where no one's doing it yet. Like let's go to Twitter, let's go to Instagram, let's go to TikTok, let's go to the newsletters to see where our buyers are congregating and figure out what all those topics are and then figure out how to do that for LinkedIn.
Okay, sweet. You know, I invited you here. It's my community. It's my
Yeah.
call. So I'm gonna make you give me free consulting on one of my posts.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's what we're gonna do. Um, and then I got a couple more. Okay, so
You Eric or you client? Okay, you Eric.
me, Eric. So this one was interesting. I spent like a bunch of time on this. I thought it was gonna crush. It like did okay. I
You
got a
know,
bunch of feedback on the article that it was good, but the post was like,
do you know who does this really well is that guy at well, one thing that immediately stood out to me is like some marketers is squishy is like you want to even by going more specific, you actually increase you would by being more specific on the title, right?
yeah,
The guy from do you know who I'm talking about? Refine Labs. Not Chris,
Evan
not
or
Chris
Chris.
Paul.
Yeah,
Evan, maybe.
Evan Hughes, maybe.
He talks
I'm not
almost
sure.
exclusively right now about how VP of marketers have
Yeah,
a hard time getting
yeah.
jobs. But like I think there's a lot to be learned from his like just relentless focus on the VP of marketers because even if you're not a VP of marketers, you aspire to be a VP of marketer. So
Yeah.
like, it allows again to paint a more visual. So that's one thought I would
That's
think.
interesting. I was actually torn about that. Is the like in this post specifically is do you go broader in hooks to maximize like how many
I almost
people see
I
it and
almost
click through,
always
or just
I
specific?
almost go nicher and hope that people aspire to it. You know what I mean? Like even sometimes when we were talking about like you wouldn't like Sam Jacobs would talk like a founder stuff, but like a lot of the executives and stuff that he was in his audience aspired to be founders, right? So like it still was applicable to them. But I've seen some marketers stuck in a job for months. Like, okay, so I think the first sentence, or whatever, is like not specific enough, and 4 months is not like, you know, I would
Oh,
rather
not pain. Yeah, yeah.
like what is 4 months is kind of broad or vague. So it'd be like, 12 to 18 months, 6 to 12 months, like gotta go
Or would I specify it more to be like,
yeah.
I know 8 people who have been on the
You
job market
could.
for
You could
12
try. It's
months.
one way that you could do it, while others are drowning in job offer. That's interesting. The contrast. While others are drowning after setting their careers of 12 top 1% marketers, three strategies emerge that separate them from the rest. Separate from the rest of like getting job. And then what's the post going to be about? Like about how
So
they
the
get
post is like I analyze these 12 people who are like both make a bunch of money and love what they do, and then I
like
found
always
patterns of
employed.
like what they have in common.
So why they're always employed, or like why they're good at their job, I guess. I guess
Uh,
kind of
both like how they got this like uh I don't know, more career optionality. It's like they are just they are able to never have to apply cold for a job again, and they
oh,
make a
that's
bunch of
cool.
money and have a bunch of like
Companies.
that's the general theme.
Got distribution. They built a network of brands. So it's like how you always stay employed as a marketer. Okay. I like the general idea, definitely. There's something about the hook that's not working for me. I think the post is good. These top marketers have career optionality. They love what they do. They make more than their peers and they have complete. Again, I would want more specific of like you say they make more than their peers. It's like they're making $500,000 a year,
Yeah,
like similar to that cat one. You know what I mean? Like he's being very
yeah,
specific with the numbers,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
complete over what they want to do next. One was able to go fractional, double is it? Three sure. What is the one was able to go?
Oh, is this unclear?
Yeah, what was that? These
This is like 3 of the people. One of them went fractional from a full-time job and he doubled his income and works 3 days a
uh,
week.
I think one my thought would be like this is about how people are trying to get jobs at companies, and then you're going into this fractional thing, which seems to cut against it a little bit. Like I thought this would be
That makes sense.
a post about like how you're going to land a job or how you're always like a highly employed marketer at like a hot tech startup or whatever. But then the
Mhm.
fractional thing I think cuts against it a little bit. Um, I realized companies found a brand got 500 to open up. I don't know if you needed. I don't think you needed that section.
Mhm.
8,000 for 3 hours a week is pretty good. But they found their own territory.
It's like they get this career optionality thing and they use it in a bunch of different ways, but it's yeah, maybe it's because the idea is not super cl as clear in my head. But I think that's
I like
correct.
the points are really good. They built a personal monopoly by niching down. Isn't the best content marketing marketer in our store, but she's the top web VPs of marketing who are great at content. So that's really and you use all the examples. That's good. It's something about the like I break up the post into hook, intro. Like you can do a hook. You basically have a hook, a background, like a meat and a takeaway, right?
Mhm.
I think the problem here is like the meat is really good, but I think we needed to, and I would just do it again, by the way. Like I would just
Well,
wait.
that's what I want to do, and then be like, I talked to Alec Paul, and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
the before after on the post.
do it. We scroll down to the end. And then it gets the best market search, like a product, but they know they can just build and hope they'll be whether it's personal brand. But as you think there's extra and modern, yeah, sure, effort. It took us are the, and on point three, are you recapping distribution? Are you on point three? Are you recapping those first two sentences? Like
Oh, that is, yeah.
I think I'll just go with, like those.
Yeah, I should cut that for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, built on I think they were just live on. So what's the return? I don't know, but I think it's that they treat their career like a product. That's good. But go down to the image too, the productized marketer. That image is tough.
Too
I
much text.
I
Like
think
hard
it's
to read.
too much. It's like, what would you do? The rise of the productized marketer. It would be almost like the mark.
It needs to be something that like creates emotion, and
Yeah,
then
the image is tough because it's too much and it reads too much like a slide deck.
right,
And slide decks are okay when it feels like, hey, here's the secret slide from the VC
right,
investor
yeah,
demo that you didn't, you
or
know,
data,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or more data. So I think the image and then the hook and that intro and then Besides that, the bullet points I wouldn't change much on probably.
Okay, that's helpful. Sweet. All right.
I got a couple minutes if anyone has any other questions or anything.
Yeah.
No pressure though.
What do
I
you say when you have a couple minutes? You want to go over, or you there's 3 minutes left?
Oh no, I can go over a little bit if you guys got stuff you want to talk about. That's fine.
Okay, sweet. The one thing I want to do, I want to open question. Another one thing I want to do is go to like a Gal or Alec or get one really good post that worked for one of your clients, and then we can talk about like how you got there. Um,
Sure, I can throw. Someone was asking something too, I think. I'll pull something up.
okay, you guys want to do what I just said or questions? We'll let you drive.
Oh, I'm pulling one up.
Eric thing. Okay. Let's do the Eric thing. Money.
I mean, this is stupid, but like here. Can I share?
Yep. Just allowed it.
Okay, this is really stupid, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Uh okay, this is ridiculous. The Adam's whole thing is about like his lean business. Right? I don't know if you've been following him. Like he built this lean
Mhm.
AI business where like he has this AI bot that like kind of does all the work for him. So basically we just came up with like and like what is really prominent this type of year on like LinkedIn is like these President's Club winner like announcements. Um, so we just did like I think this kind of like funny fake stuff on LinkedIn kind of works really well. It's like a fake President's Club announcement where it's like his AI bot and he sent his AI bot to Hawaii or something that kind of just like plays on the tropes of LinkedIn and has this fun AI image and like reinforces his whole AI driven business thing. Um, I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that
Yeah, this is great. So go to this worked. Yeah, okay. So 306 likes. How did you get to this? Like, what's the behind the scenes?
behind the scenes is like I saw all these President's Club announcements, and it's like I'm always looking for like the things that are like there's constant TV, I call it like LinkedIn uh that guess that's a different idea. We don't have time to get into it's more of like there's these constant recurring themes on LinkedIn of like thrilled to announce I raised all this money and we're going to President's Club and like all these different things for like your niche or industry, whatever it may be. Like, and one of them for this was President's Club. And Adam doesn't have any people we send to President's Club. So what if we just, Gemini is really fun. So what if we kind of put Adam, he has this like Adam bot that he constantly refers to. What if we sent this bot who closed all these deals for him to Hawaii, essentially.
So who had that? So you saw the President Club ideas, and then you had this
Uh,
idea of like, what
yeah,
if we
then
do a
I had
bot?
this one was mainly me. But he came up with like all with the stats and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I don't know if this is a great example. I just thought it was funny. The the let's see if something you want to see like how like an idea comes to be essentially
Yeah, for a banger post.
or a banger post. I'm even struggling. What is this? Let's go to they're not all bangers, I'll tell you that. It's not. So let's see. I think this one did like 1,000.
Yeah, so this is interesting because it's like not a unique
Take.
angle necessarily, but it popped off, right?
I think there's like I had a couple days. It's like flattering the audience. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're really misunderstood. Like your job is really, really hard. And like acknowledging that you're a rock star and like putting voice to that pain that all the AEs and stuff feels like we're the hero, we're blamed, like we're whatever. Where I'm the hero and then everything's my fault.
So that's why this worked, right? Is because
Yeah.
any AE is like, oh my God, I am misunderstood. And then they read it and
Yes.
they're like, oh, these are all spot on and they're very well written. Like there's no fluff.
But then he calls out the AE's pain, but then he's like calling out the actual sales leaders who's responsible for that pain, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Hiring or firing another seller, read this. So it's like,
And it's almost like an AE reading this wants to like this so that people read it
yeah,
and don't fire them, which is
it's
great.
it's a it's putting like and plus like this gal is very aware of like using his like he is the CEO. So it's like
Right.
this would be a different post written from a CEO than if it was a sales leader or I don't know, an AE or something like that. I'm trying
Okay, so how did this one come
I'm
from the
trying to
beat?
remember. I'm trying to remember. I wonder if it's something we've done before. We should talk about that though. The beauty of like I didn't say my normal spiel, but I'm gonna if give it like LinkedIn content is IP, like it's intellectual property, and like it should be re-exploited over and over again for
Yeah.
attention. Like I'm 90% sure we probably did this a year ago.
Mhm.
Um, or some version of this. And sometimes we'll rewrite it and sometimes we won't. But like when you're thinking about your executive, and I'm gonna get back to your I'm gonna go on my little tangent, then I'll get back to the thing you want to know, is like they think of it as like this never-ending hamster wheel of like, I'm gonna have to create content forever. But really what you're asking them to do is create a library of intellectual property that can be re-exploited like forever. And like that library compounds over time and will continue to pay off, right? So
That's
it's
interesting. You think about that in like podcasting, you call it like a binge bank of like you want to create this content so someone can go back and like
yes,
do,
same
but the
thing.
way LinkedIn works, like it's not,
You can't go back.
no one goes back and reads a post that's more than 2 weeks old unless it shows up in your feed again. So like uh the binge bank is this like repository, right, that you're like pulling from and can like repackage and
We've done
you
stuff
understand it over time.
on Sam or whatever, like 4 times over a period of 2 years, 3 years, something like that. Like
Mhm.
over time, like you have to create less new content, you know what I mean? And obviously it atrophies or whatever. I'm trying to think of how we came up with it. I don't remember. So it's most brutal.
And is this the type of thing where like you, we'll just go hypothetical maybe, which is, hey, this post worked in the past. There's a thing I think about sales being misunderstood, and then A's want to engage with that, and then also like you want to talk about
I'm gonna
uh and this is why. And then did you guys go back and forth a lot on this hook to like tweak it and make sure the hook was
hook
like
we probably did.
perfect?
He probably did the bullets. We probably like rewrote this hook a bunch of times. And then yeah, it
And
was
that's
like
live. You're just like in a Google Doc, just like
no, like in Google Doc, we'll like just trade like we're on different time zones. So like
mm,
his I stay up really late and he's up early in Israel. So
mhm.
um the I'm trying to remember. It was just about why sales was we like wanted to write a post about how sales is so hard. I think that was and why it's so hard for A's. I think that was generally the original gist of where this idea came from.
Mhm.
And like what are all the things that the sales leaders don't quite or maybe have forgotten about why it's so hard? And like let's remind them. I think that was where this idea came from.
Okay, sweet. People are dwindling because it's been a long call. Real
Right on
quick, I want
time.
to
Yeah, yeah.
everyone can who's still here, give us a rating on 1 to 10 on this call. These are somewhat new. I want some feedback. So give us a 1 to 10 score and why.
100. I
Oh, let's go.
feel like there's a lot of pressure because I can see their name.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to get hosed by Alec.
Uh,
Amazing.
there we go. Thank you. I was more realistic. Carl. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, Amanda, you can definitely share it with your team. Sweet. Yeah, the examples and the live critique. Awesome.
You're like the roast worked.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too. Maybe we should have gotten into that earlier, but I think it really helps like makes everything more specific and actionable. Um, okay. I think we're good unless
Cool. Thanks, guys.
yeah, we're good. All right. Well, thanks everyone so much. This is awesome. Alec, thanks so much for joining us. This is super helpful. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's super fun. I can always talk about this stuff. This is the only thing I can talk about, I think. But this is
Cool. And yeah, I'm assuming Alec Paul on LinkedIn.
yeah.
If people want to check you out. Sweet. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great
Thanks.
rest of your day. Thanks, Alec. See you guys.